Hey everybody, my name is Nick Ravel and I play viola, and I created DragonScales, my 3-octave scale and arpeggio audio play-along system in all keys for violin, viola, and cello. Something I use pretty much every time I practice. Find them super effective for targeting pitch and rhythm. So far in this series, we've covered a lot of ground, specifically using the audio play-alongs, getting creative with them. I've given out some supplemental guides on how to get the most out of these play-alongs. And today, we're going to be veering off the path a little bit to talk about sight reading, a requested topic. Sight reading, in my experience, has been hit or miss. It has been scary, it's been amazing, it's been a whole bunch of different things. And I have tips for you on how to make your sight reading experience enjoyable and approachable. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's jump right in. I think it's safe to say that all of us have had a terrible sight reading experience. I know I did. I had a cruise ship gig for about 5 weeks where we were expected to play about 4 hours of music every day. This was not a preformed group. We didn't have time to rehearse 4 hours worth of music by the time we got to the gig. So we had to sight read a lot of music in public. I don't recommend doing that. It's going to give you a lot of physical tension. You're going to mess up and face plant in front of all those people. And generally, it's not good to be under that kind of pressure with that little preparation. But I survived, and because of it, I got better. However, I wish someone had told me some of the tips about sight reading I'm going to tell you. Things that I think will make the whole thing easier, and a way for you to practice sight reading on your own so that when you get to the sight reading with others, you've got some experience under your belt. My ideal sight reading scenario is like a chamber music party. You get together with friends, everybody brings a couple different pieces, and you get to meet new people, you get to hang out, and you get to play some music. I think it's probably unlikely you're going to nail everything. I think it's very likely you're going to mess it up. And that's okay. I don't think anybody expects perfection from you in a sight reading party. Because when you really break it down, the challenges of sight reading a piece together in a chamber music situation are monumental. First, there's your own part. Can you handle the meter and the rhythms of the printed music together at the same time in a constant flow without having to stop or restart? Can you do that while playing the notes that belong to each of those rhythms, the assigned pitches? And can you do all that while interpreting your friends' playing in terms of rhythm and pulse at the same time? Everybody has to understand how everybody's part is supposed to fit together in real time. At the very least, you all have to share a sense of pulse and tempo. And without a conductor telling you where the beat is or a metronome, it's very easy to fall apart. It's very easy to start misinterpreting other people's rhythms, or just, concentrate so hard on your own part that you don't have the brain space to listen to others. In an orchestra scenario, if you're sight reading, if you fall off your part, the orchestra's not going to stop playing. There's a conductor, you're in a section, you're not the only person responsible for your part, unless you're a wind player, in which case, it's basically like a big chamber music reading party. But you still got a conductor. So everything in this video, I'm going to be directing towards a chamber music scenario because I think that is the most difficult sight reading situation. If you are interested in sight reading solo pieces, go for that. Definitely do that. But also know that there's no other person you're trying to get through it with. So it might be a good idea after a couple reads just to move on to actually practicing the piece since you're by yourself. Another great application, real-world application, is play-alongs, audio play-alongs. They're all over YouTube, and I'm going to show you a program right now that I really like. This is not a sponsored video. They have not asked me to do this or paid me in any way. I just like the program. I've been using it a little bit on my own for my streaming channel on Twitch, in which I go on and I sight read music for fun. So this is called TomPlay. Let me show you my screen. This is just inside a piece. This is Schubert's Rosamunde String Quartet. This is the fourth movement. I think I have played this a while ago, but I really can't remember it very well. At least 10 years ago. But it's a catchy piece. I think we've probably all heard it. I'm sure this is in one of his lieder somewhere too. So let's just see what this sounds like. Here's a little bit of... how this works before you play it is it comes with audio play-alongs. I've muted the viola because I'll be supplying that audio, and it corresponds exactly to the sheet music, the notation. The whole thing auto-scrolls for you as you play along, which is really handy because you can hit play and go for it. So here we go. A little bit of Schubert, Rosamunde. You get the idea. I really like TomPlay. There's a whole lot of pieces in their library. It's a great opportunity to play chamber music. It's not a substitute for real people, but again, it's a great practice tool at the very least. And for teachers, I think it's a really great tool for students. So how to start practicing sight reading on your own? We already established that the challenge is staying together with your friends or your colleagues in tune, in time, and in pulse. So the very first thing I would practice is, can I stay together with the recording while counting the meter? In this case, we're in 2/4, so I'm going to count 1 2 1 2 as the recording goes along. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, etc., etc. After that, can I keep that pulse going with a tap or a snap or whatever, and speak the rhythm of my part along with the recording? Here we go, let's try. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Doesn't matter what syllable you do it on, the point is that you're just speaking your rhythm while tapping pulse. And you'll notice, if you're able to listen to the sound of the accompaniment, the sound of your other players, right? If you're getting separated or not. And if you are, that's the moment when you should start to figure out, okay, is my tendency to rush or to drag? Work towards lining up, getting in sync with that recording. After I do some rhythm warm-up like that, I like to familiarize myself with the key. In this case, we're in A major, so I'll make sure I know my A major scale. And not only that, but I'll actually play sort of the whole range of notes in A major. And I might do that for several different positions worth of notes. Go up and up. And the reason is because there's not a ton of pieces that won't require you to shift. So at some point you're going to be playing in A major, in third position maybe. And it's good to know the layout of those notes in those positions. So once you've done all that, you put it together, you play with the recording and see how you go. I would say do a different one every day. If you do it more than once, it's no longer sight reading. You moved on to practicing. And there's a variety of tools out there, including, let's switch to this notation here, including, as I said earlier, YouTube. There's also a really amazing project. If you're into video game music, it's called the Video Game Lead Sheet Project. It's a collection of literally 800 lead sheets with chords from all the video games that people are rabidly, have huge crushes on. And they have turned it into these lead sheets for many different instruments. So what I like to do is, especially on streaming, I like to do a random generator through my streamer song list. So I'll do add random, and it says play Town on a River from the game Suikoden. Town on a River. Suikoden V. I've never played this game. I have no idea how this song goes, but I'm going to try and play it. So then the other thing I like to do is I go to YouTube and I look up that song and I just play along with the song. Town on a River. Here we go. So I've done this a while. I know what my limits are, usually, and I could tell just by looking at this. The tempo, quarter note equals 95, key, E flat major. No seriously challenging black stuff on the page. That I would be able to do this pretty well without doing all the steps that I encourage you to do when you're practicing something that you've never seen before. And just to recap, the steps are see if you can tap the pulse, the meter, and count the meter out loud with the recording, if you're using a recording. Number two, see if you can assign those rhythms in the part to that pulse. So tap and speak the rhythm at the same time. 3, familiarize yourself with the key. Play the scale in various ways. Just know the layout of those notes on your instrument. 4th, give it a try. Play along. Have fun. That's the whole point here. And 5, pick a different one every time you do it. Because remember, it's not about nailing the music. It's not about getting it right. That's practicing. That's a separate topic. We're talking about just getting through it. Just crashing and burning. That's the goal. In the next set of videos, I'll be talking about what I think smart practice is. How to practice efficiently by making goals, making methods to accomplish those goals, and then seeing if the methods were actually effective. So that's going to be the next set of videos. That brings us to the end of this video. I would love to hear from you. What are your favorite sight reading stories? If you're willing to share your horrible sight reading stories, I would love to hear those too. I'd love to hear it all. And as always, keep me posted on topics, content you want to hear in the future. There's a lot more coming. And so if you want to stay in touch about those, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. For now, thanks so much for watching and happy practicing.